Okay, so I'm a Jewish man, and I believe in Jesus. Am I wrong?
You are, yes.
Yes? No, tell me. I'm not going to be offended. I just want to know why and have an intellectual conversation. Okay, I'm a Jewish man.
Okay.
I believe in Jesus.
Okay.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Tell me how.
Said you had a Yeshua 5 years ago.
An experience, yeah, salvation story.
Can I hear more about the story?
More about the story? Of course. So 5 years ago, I had an encounter with Jesus that I wasn't expecting.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting it. I was miserable, depressed, anxious, and suicidal. And I felt empty. So I tried to fill it up with New Age spirituality, meditation, bits and pieces of Buddhism and Hinduism, idol worship. I had my own made-up religion. And I realized that I needed something more. And when I finally crumbled and fell to the floor, I cried out to God, and Jesus showed up. He showed up in people, he showed up in books, he showed up in television programs, and I started to weep. And so what I realized was that this is the truth. And so I put my faith in Yeshua. I was changed overnight. And I decided to research the scriptures, the Old Testament, and the Tanakh, our Hebrew scriptures, and realized that they were pointing to someone. The whole time they were pointing to someone. And then when I read the New Testament, I was like bold enough to finally open it and read through it. I realized there's a beautiful story from beginning to end about the problem that the Jewish people have with relationship with God. And in the New Testament, how God fixed the problem by sending the Mashiach. Yeah. So 5 years studying my faith, realizing that this is the truth. And so it was just a simple question of, am I wrong? And if I'm wrong, just your opinion as to why, and that's all. Just to have just a dialogue between Jewish brothers.
Sounds like a very good argument.
And I appreciate you stopping by. I mean, it takes courage.
No, I like having a good time. So
yeah,
this is part of my good time today.
Like, why would I be wrong? And first of all, I appreciate you stopping because.
Is it possible to have reached for two different, things, different conclusions to have been made by different people? I guess
Absolutely.
You and someone else.
Yeah, like most traditional Jews would say that I'm wrong.
Right.
Yeah, and that it's not appropriate. It's not right for a Jewish person to put their faith in Yeshua. Only God alone. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Okay, like this is the Shema. God is one. He's not a man, like it says in Hosea. But when we, you're familiar with the story of Genesis, right? The Breshit, where God appears to Abraham as a human. He's with two angels. He appears as a human, and speaks to Abraham in first person. Yeah, right. In first person, as God.
I don't know.
That's okay. That's okay. And so he has appeared. He has appeared as in human form in the past. So he can do it without being only human.
Right. So if you that main speaks to first person, which Rashi, whatever. Explains that there's a main officer and there's two other. So I guess where I'm coming from. Where I'm coming from, under the understanding or idea that those are all three were angels, and that wasn't necessarily I believe in angels and God's messengers, and without seeing that was God, I can't agree to the point that I wouldn't be able to agree to the point that God is that there's precedent.
Because there are times in the Tanakh where he actually speaks in first person as the Lord, like he speaks in first person. But you should check it out.
How could I believe that you're wrong? We have belief. Truth is truth.
Right.
So I've always been a fan of looking for truth with truth.
Okay.
That means one can look for truth in a way that's self-serving, that works, I like this.
Right.
What I believe is that everyone has a journey in life. And the only way to search for that journey is to search for it with truth. That means look for truth with truth.
Right.
What's in the way always?
Yeah.
We have our biases. And we have we're human beings, we have a bias.
Right. Did you know that I grew up and my bias was against Jesus?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but I came to faith in him. Through a supernatural experience,
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I expect that. I have a lot of experience with people like that.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you something. We need to go to a direction that takes us to inner tranquility, to a place where we can actually find the truth.
So that's really interesting because Jesus himself actually said that he is the truth. So I believe that actually if someone is seeking truth, and if they seek with their heart and they seek long enough, that they will find it in Jesus. Hey guys, do you speak English? Can I ask you a question for YouTube? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a Jewish man.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe in Jesus. Okay. And am I wrong? And if I am, how or why?
God created the world, and you can tell that he did it because if you look around, you'll see.
It's beautiful.
Really look around. If you really look around, you'll see.
Thank you. We're asking people questions on the street about my faith and your opinion about my faith. And I don't take it personal. We're just asking people's opinions.
I'll take
I'm a Jewish guy. I'm a Jewish guy. But it is about Jesus. So I'm a Jewish man that believes in Jesus. And I'm just asking people what they think about that and if they think that I'm wrong.
What's the name of
The channel? So be it.
So be it?
So be it. Amen, Banglit.
Yeah?
Yeah. So just asking people's opinions, that's all. Like what's your opinion? You see a Jewish man standing in front of you. I say I believe in Jesus. How does that make you feel? And do you think that I'm wrong?
I mean, I have my opinion and you have your...
And your opinion is valid and completely respectable.
As well.
Thank you.
If you ask me, like, if we would have a debate, I wouldn't know much.
Yeah.
But if you would have a debate with a rabbi,
yeah,
a rabbi that knows, I think
yeah.
Great fun.
But you can tell me what you think, which is important. I grew up Jewish.
Yeah.
I have a Jewish family. I went to Hebrew school.
From New York.
From California.
Right.
Yeah, Hebrew school. And I rocked tefillin. I went to Hebrew, a Jewish summer camp.
And what happened?
No, listen, this was a long time ago. I had my bar mitzvah. My son had his bar mitzvah. But 5 years ago, I had an encounter with Jesus, Yeshua, that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting it. I was miserable, depressed, anxious, and suicidal. Like I wanted to commit suicide. And I had experiences that were related to Jesus suddenly over the course of like 45 days, day after day after day. And it started to like change me from the inside and I didn't know why. So what did they teach you about Yeshua? Gentile school.
What? Yeah, Gentile school.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
It's great.
It's good that you speak.
Can translate.
Yeah, can translate that. So yeah, and I did study a little bit on that, on Christianity.
Yeah. People think that the New Testament is like anti-Semitic and things, but you studied a little bit of Christianity, right?
And of course I don't know if it's anti-Semitic either yes or no, but I think you can see in the revolutions after what happened after all. It came a little bit anti-Semitic.
Yeah, well, actually afterwards, the church moved away from the Bible.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And from their Jew. And then oppression and persecution of Jewish people.
Yeah.
You know. So what happened was 5 years ago, I had this experience and I didn't want to just think that, oh, I feel it, therefore it's true. I wanted to study it. So I read through the whole Bible, the Tanakh, all the way through to the Brit Chadashah, the New Testament. And in the New Testament, how God fixed the problem by sending the Mashiach, who was supposed to come before the destruction. Yeah, I feel that it's the truth.
It's your own point of view,
He doesn't make it true, though.
I can't tell you.
And the moon is made out of cheese, but it's not true.
A religion is something you need a teacher and mentor to provide you, explain to you between the lines.
Yeah.
You can't read from words. So I would tell you that it's actually quite silly without exploring in a very detailed way your own roots. With a rabbi, somebody who's knowledgeable, I can explain to you. I would say it's an unfortunate thing to do.
I appreciate your opinion. Have you ever read the New Testament before?
I did. I don't need to because I have my own religion. I'm 1,000% set.
Yeah.
But you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Are you Jewish? Jewish person, you certainly should read your own roots. Otherwise, it makes absolutely zero sense. Because you're Jewish, you should learn about your own roots first.
What do you like? What's your faith? What do you believe?
What I believe? I mean, what I grew up learning, which is just, I don't know, just like Hashem, creator of all, more so just grew up believing in Jewish law, like following halakha,
right?
Going out to tefillin,
right?
And then when I came to, I never really did a lot of like digging as far as like why or like how we were created, just more so like kind of had that faith just from inheriting it from my parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm a Jewish believer in Jesus. I'm a Jewish man that believes in Jesus. Am I wrong?
There is nothing wrong that you can believe to whatever you are, and you are entitled to whatever you want to believe.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you. And Judea and Samaria first,
of course,
then the rest of the world. To the Jews first.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
But it's. I thought that's maybe where the conflict maybe starts.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
And it's interesting.
It is interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
It's beautiful what you're doing in this project. It's
appreciate
beautiful,
it. I appreciate it. Well, we're brothers. You were Jewish brothers. You know that.
Some people that went to Christianity and you still tell them that they're still Jewish. They get offended, but you don't get offended.
No, of course not. I don't. It's difficult to offend me. Do you know what the word Christ means?
Specifically, you could point to that you think is proof, like, is it proof from, I guess, from the Old Testament?
If he was supposed to come before the destruction of the second temple.
Again, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree to the assumptions that you're making.
Sure. That's why we're having conversation.
Right.
And I appreciate you so much.
Yeah. So you identify as Christian?
Well, I'm a Jewish man that believes and follows Jesus.
Right.
Yeah. Yeshua.
Right. That's not right. That's
So the word Christ means Mashiach. Okay, it's Greek for Mashiach. So a Christian is basically someone that just follows Messiah.
Right.
It's not like
yeah. You're saying you do identify as a Christian.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. But I don't have to use the term Christian. I usually just say Jewish follower of Jesus, because Christian has a context here. Like when I ask you the word Christian, what do you think of?
Christians.
Like
followers of
Gentile people?
No, not particular. Just people who follow Jesus.
Yeah. So then I would be that. Do you think I'm still Jewish?
It's not. I don't think that's a question I can answer.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Like like my parents are Jewish, both of them. My father's side Cohen, my mom's side Levi.
Right, you're Jewish, yeah.
Yeah, on both sides, like all the way up. So
your mother's.
I'm not a religious Jew.
Everyone has different opinions, and I think the important thing for me, at least, when someone tells me something like that, is just like be respectful of it. I mean, as long as you feel like there's a spiritual connection that works for you,
right?
And I guess if you have people to kind of speak with about it and form a connection with on similar grounds, where maybe someone has the same opinion as you, or someone has a different opinion than you, but you're respectful of each other's opinions, and you can connect around the fact that like you have a spiritual connection to God, Jesus, Hashem,
we're Jewish brothers here.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, good for you. Good for anyone who has a differing opinion, as long as people are respectful of it. But
like if I believe it, does it make it true? Or is there truth outside of like my own belief? You know what I mean?
I mean, faith's one of those things. I mean, the definition is like you have to believe in something that might not necessarily be explainable. Yeah. You have to have that faith. So I mean, true, it could be true in your own mind, not true in someone else's. But again, that's the opinions that come into play here. I mean, whether or not you believe it and someone else believes it, I mean, it's a matter of what's true to you.
Yeah.
And how you connect with religion as a whole.
Actually, I feel more Jewish now than I used to when I was younger.
You feel your connection to Judaism is
my connection to the Jewish people, to our Jewish roots, to our Ketuvim, is much stronger. And I've read through the Tanakh quite a few times, and it actually increases my faith in Yeshua, because I see from the beginning, Reshit, in Genesis 3:15, that there was a problem between Adam and Eve and God, and then there was a separation, and God said that the seed of the woman, which women don't have seed, but the seed of the woman, so it was pointing towards something, will crush the head of the serpent, which is basically the idea of the Satan, right? The devil that came to put a separation between us and God. So from the beginning, there's pointing towards someone. Do you believe in the coming of a Messiah?
Yeah.
You do? You believe that he's a person, or it's like an age?
I'm not sure. I haven't learned enough. I myself didn't grow up particularly fulfilled or religious.
Yeah.
So I'm just only been learning for 5 years, 6 years.
Me too, actually. So. Interesting. Parallel, just different conclusions.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it's interesting how that, I guess, I was saying earlier that there's probably more than two different conclusions.
Absolutely.
People make, and either one can be fulfilling, I guess.
They can be fulfilling. The question whether or not it's true, which is what you asked.
Right.
How do you know it's true? You know what I mean? Instead of